Akira recalls his conversations with his father, where every time he mentions an achievement, Akira always used to listen to him quietly, even though he didn't like the comments even a tad bit. As the four travel to his hometown, Beatrix hopes his parents are fine, but Akira remains confident that his parents won't go down this easily. Kensho, on his bike, talks about how he will have to introduce himself and impress them as his best friend, but gets ignored by all his talks about impressing them by being naked. Shizuka notices his nervousness and teases him about it, but he is not nervous due to the gap because he dreads his father's reaction about him quitting his job and everything. Beatrix brings him out of his thoughts by pointing out the blocked tunnel. All of them get down and peep through the blockage to find the reason. Akira's eyes widen upon seeing zombies in the tunnel. Everyone worries that the village got infected too, but Akira mentions not recognizing any of those faces. With this relief of hope that the village might still be safe, Shizuka takes out her bag and suggests they take the route through the forest to reach there. As Beatrix and Kensho walk ahead, Shizuka consoles a tense Akira that the other side of the tunnel is blocked too, which means the village must be safe. The four of them walk through the quiet forest, but fast footsteps and wild screams disrupt the silence. A zombie board is chasing an old man. Beatrix shouts for him to get down and shoots an arrow at the board, successfully saving the man. The old man introduces himself as Masaru Kumano. To save himself from the zombies, he decided to settle in this forest. Beatrix likes his approach, but Shizuka does not consider it a feasible option for living. They all enter a space where a lot of wood is cut out and an unfinished treehouse resides. Kumano decided to use his experience with the woods to build a treehouse for his living, but this is not why Shizuka and Kensho have questionable expressions. It is because the two of them recall building a treehouse on Akira's bucket list. Shizuka dreads what is about to happen next as she can see stars in Akira's eyes. Akira walks up to Kumano, making up excuses on how he is short of time and another zombie board might attack him from anywhere, so he should accept some help in building it. Kumano is a little awkward by Akira's weird way of offering help but agrees to it. Kumano guides Kensho and Akira about all the know-how on building treehouses. Akira and Kensho are fascinated by the wisdom being granted to them, but the last note in Kumano's lecture decides to be highlighted in Akira's mind. He tells them to listen to the voice of the forest. It is done by thinking of the other trees and the earth around the forest, so they will become mindful of the entire forest, and hence listen to its voice. While fixing the nails, he thinks that maybe if he is mindful of the people around him, he will be able to become mindful of the entire world. Kumano praises Akira for doing well. Akira happily mentions how he wanted to build a treehouse ever since he was little, which makes Kumano mention such requests coming from his son too when he was younger. Akira casually throws the question about where his son is at the moment, but realizes after a moment of silence that he struck the wrong nerve. With a breaking voice, Kumano mentions that his son was bitten by his wife, and he had to take care of the two with his own hands. He had hoped he could build a treehouse with his son now that he's older, but now Kumano feels like it is too late to repay his son. Akira helps Kumano from dropping a piece of wood and gives him the sweetest smile while telling him he will support in building this treehouse. Together with everyone's help, the treehouse is finished quickly, and the four of them also get to relax a little before heading ahead. Shizuka mentions thinking Akira would like to spend more time here, but Akira saw his father's reflection in Kumano, making him more excited to meet him. In their journey ahead, the three seem to be having a hard time like any normal person due to the hungry gorge, the narrow path on the mountain, and the weak old bridge they had to pass through. But Akira seems to be casually walking through this route, as this was every villager's route before the tunnel was built. One good thing about this is that it increases the guarantee of the village being safe from zombies. As the four walk up to the beautiful village, Akira freaks out upon seeing it empty and eerily quiet. He rushes to his house and opens the door only to find a party happening inside with drunk old men dancing. They recognize Akira and call his parents Teruo and Akiko. Akira looks at them and starts ranting about being sorry for not reaching out to them and not being grateful enough for them while tears roll down his eyes. It is only until his father punches him in the face that he stops. He tells Akira to not spew out nonsense as the world is in chaos, and leaves to work after greeting his friends and leaving things to his wife. Akira still sulks about the interaction while his mother serves everyone delicious food. Upon everyone's curiosity, she shares that they are a remote village with city paths blocked during winter due to snow, so they know how to sustain themselves independently. They also had to block the tunnel after some of the people migrating to this safe region got infected. Since many villagers had moved away in the past, this village has a lot of empty houses to help migrators attain a haven. As the three of them enjoy the peaceful feeling of the village, Akira worries about how he could repay his parents since it is something he just added to his bucket list. He tries to help his mother but fails to do so. His father asks him to help him on the farm. To reduce the awkwardness, Akira tries to initiate small talk and offer his help, but his father shuts him out like always.
Akira gets dreadlocks from a girl who migrated here for safety, signing another wish off of his bucket list. The girl tells Akira she worked in a salon in the city since she is devoted to making dreadlocks for people. Another girl shares she has been a makeup artist in movies. And ironically, they were in the middle of shooting a zombie movie when the pandemic broke out, which is why it took them too long to realize the reality. The third woman consoles her while mentioning she feels at peace here and would like to continue living here in the future as well. Shizuka is busy working when an old lady, Tome, comes to her talking about how it must be difficult to do something she is unaccustomed to. But Shizuka is at peace learning it all as it is necessary for everyone's survival here. Tome happily guides her on how to cook better until an old man, Hiko, hugs Shizuka tightly from behind while taking his late wife's name. Shizuka shivers in fear as Tome grabs Hiko, throwing the maniac out and apologizing to Shizuka. A guy comes in with an injured hand, and Shizuka guides him to keep his hand in a certain position to avoid necrosis. Poor girl only shared a little knowledge about medicine, but got surrounded by everyone upon the assumption that she was a doctor. Kensho gets some knowledge about the cesspit from an old farmer when he witnesses a little girl, Anju, sitting along with her dog, Charo. The farmer tells Kensho that she came from the city after her parents got infected and hasn't smiled ever since. Kensho walks up to her and offers to show her his juggling skills. Anju is weirded by his mention of doing it naked and asks why he is talking to her. Kensho reasons that it is common courtesy to say hi to a young girl or old lady whenever one sees them, and in Italy's culture, it is also rude for them to not smile back. She breaks out in a chuckle at the absurdity of Kensho's words. Kensho feels relieved to see her back to normal. Beatrix is very impressed as she visits the place where hydroelectric power is being used to charge the fence to keep the zombie animals away from entering the forest. She is told by her company to not touch the breaker that prevents the voltage from leaking or becoming too high. The girl with Akira continues how the way everyone works together for survival, lives in harmony, and knows each other creates a sense of peace and warmth in this village for everyone. Her sense of feeling true happiness in this village is also a fresh perspective for Akira. As he works on the farm, Kensho walks up to him narrating how slaughtering a chicken may cause him to never eat one again. Kensho suddenly notices the same emo guy that Akira saw before and calls him by the name of Higurashi. Higurashi sees them, clenches his teeth in anger, and walks away. Akira does not seem to remember him, but he was their batchmate for 6 months until he dropped out. Higurashi seems to have a deep-rooted hatred for Akira and Kensho, just because they used to look happy with their lives back in college. He suddenly passes an evil smile ready to execute a plan that is not going to be good. Akira's father is having a drink outside when Akira joins in too with the hope of bonding through this. He notices how his father looks older and weaker since the last time he saw him. Akira then strikes up a conversation about how he has realized living in the village is not that bad, and he'd like to support the two now. His father interrupts that there is nothing for Akira to be cooped up in this village and that he should follow the biggest dream he can muster up. This statement triggers Akira again, as he is just trying to repay his parents. But he stops himself from saying something wrong and asks his father what his dream was as a child. His father builds up the whole narration of how one realizes how tiny their existence is, after looking up at the Earth from space and standing up tall and proud, mentioning he always wanted to be an astronaut. He also mentions that it is not possible since he is too dumb. Akira breaks out in laughter at that, not knowing his father was a funny man. He still tells Akira to dream big as they keep a man going. The fun conversation continues after he makes fun of Akira's dreadlocks, successfully checking off another wish of his to spend time with his parents. The woman accompanying Higurashi breaks the breaker, increasing the voltage supply to the fence. After this, the four of them travel to the tunnel and create a pathway for the zombies to enter the village, and together they all aim to mess up society. One by one, everyone starts noticing the zombies entering the village. Akira is told by his father to get his friends to safety first, as they have been his constant support through everything. Shizuka helps everyone get to safety, but also receives help from the villagers when she is about to get attacked. Higurashi and his team continue blowing things up to fulfill their selfish wishes. Kencho runs from the zombies while carrying Anju, and lucky for him, Beatrix hunts down the zombies chasing them. The four of them meet at the electric fence with Anju and Charo and decide to get rid of the fence to get all the villagers to safety at the suspension bridge. It is only after a severe shock to Kencho that they realize the breaker has been broken. Higurashi comes towards the four and shows his true self, revealing he wants to get rid of everyone, especially Akira, as he doesn't like seeing people happy. Akira is pissed off at the selfish bucket list of Higurashi and tells him he is not backing down without repaying his parents. It has now come to the point of whose 38th wish amongst the two comes true first, whether Akira saves the villagers or becomes a zombie. Beatrix decides to shut down the generator to cut the power from the fence. Shizuka decides to get the villagers, while Akira goes to get his parents. Kencho notices Angie goes towards the village to find Charo and proceeds towards her, only after promising Akira that they are going to make out through this alive.